All right, let's talk about some prep work when you first arrive on site at a property. Usually most everything is pretty much ready to go and staged when we arrive, but there's always a few things we want to check when we're on site shooting so we don't have to come back and reshoot. Plus the little things we do makes a huge difference. When we're first walking up to the property, the one thing I do want to make sure that the cars are moved and trash cans. If we have those things in our photos in the front of the house, it's going to make it super hard to Photoshop and make it look good. Normally we do ask the homeowners for these things to be moved ahead of time or put in the garage, wherever they can move it. But if they are here, let's text the realtor or go inside if someone's here, make sure they get moved so we can knock it out. So when we first walk into a property, what we want to do is make sure that all of the lights and lamps are on. Once that is done, I usually go through and make sure that the blinds are open as well. If there's a good view out the window, water, beach, whatever it is, you'll be able to see that. If you're in your neighborhood, I usually have the blinds kind of like this, and you want to make sure that none of the blinds are kind of off. Sometimes you'll walk into a room, you'll see it like this. We usually go through, fix that, make sure they're looking good, they're the same. So when we're taking these photos, everything looks super good. All right, so the next thing we want to do is make sure that toilet lids are closed. If the toilet lids are open in all of our photos, we'll have to go through, reshoot or Photoshop everything, and we do not have time for that. The second thing we want to do is just make sure there's nothing in the photos that is distracting. The first thing I see here is we have a few things sitting right here that we do want to move. Stuff like this, we can just put under the sink, hide it out of the way. Those are the little things other photographers don't do. We do to make sure everything looks super good. Also, sometimes there's like little trash cans here. They'll be like pushed out. So if we just want to push them out of the way, and if we're taking our photo just like this, they're out of our shot. So trash cans, little toiletry items, make sure that's hidden, toilet lid closed, and you're good to go. All right, now that we've gone through, we've got all the lights on, blinds open. We also want to make sure we have fireplaces on. If they're electric, if they're not, we can Photoshop those in post. I also make sure that the TVs are off, just so we have some room to play with, to Photoshop kind of a beach scene or whatever they want on the TVs. All right, now we're going through the kitchen real quick. I want to make sure that there's nothing in here that is distracting. Usually these things are done beforehand, but again, it's little things we do to make sure the photos look super good and we don't have to reshoot. The first thing I noticed is this paper towel roll. It's kind of a distraction. It's kind of taking up the photo along with this little brush here. So those are things you can throw in the sink or put under the sink. Same with this soap, just so the countertops look super good and clear. I also noticed this towel over here, stuff like that's kind of a distraction, just doesn't look good. So we'll just throw that under the sink real quick, hide that. Also see the trash can was a little bit open. Let's close that. We can also hide this, make sure that everything looks super good in the kitchen. And then when I'm looking at the dining room table, I'm usually making sure that there's nothing on there, of course, that's distraction, but I'm also looking at the chairs. Sometimes cleaners will run through super quick, and you'll see that the chair's looking funky over here. This chair's like sometimes pointed that way. So I'm just making sure that everything is looking good and staged. I'll just go through and make sure all the chairs are aligned here. Looking good. We'll go ahead and push this chair in. So when we're shooting these photos, everything looks super good. We don't have to reshoot anything. One thing I want to talk about real quick is pillows. People hate when we take our photos and the pillows are knocked over. Sometimes it's super windy outside, or you're just running through, you accidentally knocked one over. We want to make sure that we go through, make sure everything's staged, chop them up a little bit, make sure everything looks good. If we shoot video and the pillows are knocked over, we'll have to come back and reshoot, and that is not fun. Then we'll have to re-edit the video. It's such a pain. So I always just go through, the first thing I'm kind of looking at, I look at the pillows, make sure everything's good to go. I look over the kitchen, hide a few things, look over the dining room table. All the chairs are pushed in, everything's looking super good. We got our blinds open, we've got all the lights on, fireplace, we're good to go. And really, this should not be an hour-long thing. You'll kind of get in a routine of it, everything will get super simple. It'll be like a checklist in your head. As soon as I walk in this house, I'm already looking at the lights, looking at the blinds, making sure trash cans are moved, everything's staged nice, ready to go. I'm still doing efficient because we don't want to be here for 2 hours. Typically, I'll get this done if it's just photos, maybe 20 minutes. These are things typically the homeowners or vacation rentals do ahead of time, but we like to go through and just double check, make sure it's good. These are things that other photographers do not do that we're gonna do, and that's why people are gonna hire us, because we're going the extra step. I appreciate y'all. If you have any questions, just give me a call, text, I'm here to help.